welcome back. You can see that I've had putty in all the low places quite a bit. Some of it still has to be smoothed out there, but I've sanded and sealed, so I've got feels kind of bristly and rough, not like up here. Anyway, it'll be 400 grade paper. Just rub it down now. The really rough parts like this can be rubbed off later, that's not a problem. But obviously I did this yesterday. I couldn't film it because there's sawdust and filler dust and everything flies all over the place. You know, it's rubbing my hands over that, it feels like there's steps. It's amazing, even after all that, there's still steps down there. But it's not too bad. If I need to, before I put the copper tape on, yeah, I don't think you'll notice that with the copper on. There's a hair there, must have came off the brush. Okay, so I shall give this a light rub down and I'll be back with you for the next step. Right then, next stage is we're back to our paper templates. Some of them, obviously, I can still see the markings that I made before. I'll double check them as I go through, make sure they're still good, make sure I've got everything at hand, like a pencil. As usual on my workbench I can't find anything until he picks it up. Okay, I'm just going to go and sharpen my pencil. I'll be back in a tick. Okay, got a nice sharp tip on my pencil. This will be fun. You can watch along, watch me get frustrated by it. Okay, there's the marker. Stick. Stick. Better, it's better. Not perfect, but better. But it is now back to where it was when I did it the first time. base for it to go on. So line up all the lines. All the way to the middle. Now, got to repeat that on the other side. The other side, of course, is using the reverse of these templates. So again, it's fun trying to position them, but we'll get there. So these should be able to lift off. He says, when you want it to lift off, it stays put. Here we go. And what we get left with is 4 nice pencil lines, which is what we want. Now, do the same on the other side. The bow piece that I've already cleaned out the slots where this goes in, and I've shampooed off the edges to make it easier to put in. Just going to do a dry fit now. In we go. And when it goes in, it should go in better than that. But yeah, there we go. That's in. That's where it's going to be glued in. So I'm not worried about these gaps. They'll be filled in a few minutes. What I am more interested in is why the bottom's not gone in. So it's possible that some of these holes aren't cleared up yet. Yeah, I see one of the problems down here. Okay, let me lift this off. Unfortunately, when I lift it off to work on it, you won't be able to see what I'm doing. So I'll be back. There we are, guys. It's on. It's glued in. So that needs to set. Don't know how long that will take. I'm using white glue, so it could be a little while. Just noticed up here I've got some grooves, but they'll be filled, I think. Let's see them later on. Okay, I'll let that set. I'll cut the next pieces to be put in, and I'll be back. Right, it's had a little time to set. So I've cut these pieces out, I've marked them as I usually do. These would be the keel. It's a very good fit. You notice I'm using white glue now. It's because I can afford to let it sit a bit longer. Make sure the 2 halves meet. And where they meet, I put a clip. nails. So the next thing is to remove the excess glue. Just like that, it doesn't even need pins. It's so good. So say, I think I'll put a pin in that just to make sure it doesn't move. Not easy. Not going to work either. Okay, I've just got to be very careful to make it match. Don't put undue pressure on it. That's where you wonder if a touch of cyano would just hold it while the white glue sets. Just like that. Hi guys, I'm back. Okay, let me just get some power to this camera. There we go. Now, all nicely settled in. Quite pleased with how it looks so far. Now, I need to trim off this end. Get my trusty little saw here. If you haven't invested in any of these are Artesania Latina's own little tools. They are. I thought at first it was a gimmick, but they are very sharp. Just trying to find my small rule. I moved things around yesterday, so there it is. So we just want to get the line of this wood. Cut on the outside of that line. as you'll see, as I was going to say, these saws, it's only a little thin blade, but look how clean that went through there. That's, to me, that's amazing. Okay, just tidy this up a bit so that's what you call a sharp saw. Here we are. Now, we're going to put it on a stand, so I'll reposition you so you can see what I'm going to do next. Okay, now with a keel on, you can see it's a lot more stable. It doesn't rock around. But the next thing I've got to do is drill some holes in here. A for the hooks which will retain the cannons, and then, well, it's all hooks to retain the cannons, but it's two in this forward bulkhead. Let me see if I can get you a bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Yeah, so one hole back here and one either side of the holes there. So what I'm going to do first is make a little template. So I just have to put a piece of wood in there and drill through it. So let me just bear with me while I find a nice little piece of wood which is can be the right size. I think that might not be long enough. See what the dimensions are that they give you. Six. I need it just a bit longer than that. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Right guys, I'm back. The next part is to get these two pieces fitted in here, and they're a very tight, close fit. You can see there's just a fraction to be trimmed off down here. Had I known this before I put the main piece on, I would have sanded the bow a little bit closer. But I know exactly what it is that has to be rubbed off, so you have to do this on both sides. It has to fit exactly all the way. In fact, that is fitting You can see it's a fraction of a millimetre. So I'm going to sand this. I'll come back to you when it's done. Okay guys, you can see that one side is on and clamped. The other side does fit, I've checked it. Let this set, then I'll put the other side on and I'll come back to you again. Okay folks, I've just taken the clips off here. Seems to have set quite nicely. I just checked the slots here, they're all in line, which they are. So I'm quite happy with that. More important is these slots through here are, I can look through and I can see the slot all the way. I think later on that's, you tie the bowsprit using these two slots. Okay, the next job is to take, they call it WS8, which is 1.5 by 5, a couple of strips out, and what we're going to do now is line this keel. Now, I guess the easiest way for me to do this is to put it on its side. Sorry, I just bashed the camera out. There'll be quite a bit of angle cut in here. Down to the bottom, we're going to go like this and then fill it in. When it gets to the bottom, we'll then go that way. We get past the curves. So I guess from about here, and then I'll have another piece on the outside. So, and it'll get the same on the other side. So quite a difference to the look now. Where to start? Always the question, isn't it? Get a few pieces out because we're going to be chopping them about. I've got some nice snips back here. Let's hope these are sharper than my other ones. Yeah, the way they show it is to start with this one here. So take it from there. Once again, I'll remind you that these will all be covered up by copper. Excess glue off as I usually do. Now, I'm going to have to start putting this inverted when I put it down because it's getting down the tube. I don't want to run out, but now then. And just like that. I'm just going to put a clip on that to make sure it stays. There we are. Now, get a little bit steeper. I apologise again if all you've seen is my elbows and my backs and my hands. I really should invest in an overhead tripod or stand for the microphone. This is a lot easier than I thought it would be. I suppose you get used to the 2x5 with the planking, and when you go to 1.5x5, it's a lot easier to manage. Just take a look. It catches you by surprise. You'll notice I'm using white glue, whereas I normally use cyano when I'm planking. I just thought it'd be a nice change. Okay, it takes longer to set, but I'm not in any hurry. That's my sanding block hitting the floor. At least if it's on the floor, I know where it is. Yeah, I had one person comment a few videos ago, but very messy work area. Yeah, well, that's how I work, unfortunately. I know where everything is. Isn't it great how as you come down the curve and you shape the piece at this end to the curve, it fits perfectly for the next piece. Put it back in again. That one came out on the end of my pliers. And this cement I'm using, this white glue, we all know it as PVA. This is fast PVA, or what do they call it here? Express. It just means it sets in about 20 minutes as opposed to a couple of hours. It sets faster than that, but I mean fast in 20 minutes. I think we get one more before we go to the straight bits. And once again, I've pulled it off. Right. Let's take the excess glue out. I'll let you have a closer look at that. And you can see I'm not worried about tiny little gaps. As I say, when I come to do the contouring with the brass or copper, you won't see it. You'll see those gaps, they'll be totally filled up. Okay, let's put you back in the stand. Okay, I'll let you see this first long piece going in, and then I'll just carry on and do it. Now, just get this angle right. Maybe put a bit more in. Clip on that so it doesn't spring loose. Now then, this one I'll put the glue on this wood. Now, see how I blobbed it? If I now slide it along on those blobs. Put another couple of clips in there. There we are. Now, take the excess glue out. Just up. Okay guys, I'll carry on with this. I'll come back to you when I've got it done. Okay guys, that's one side completely covered, just a half strip to put on the back end of the rudder bar. I shall carry on and do the other side of this. It's exactly the same. I just got to wait for this to set a little bit before I take all the clamps off and do the other side. It's very easy, fairly straightforward. The next bit is some metal work, which will be on the next video, and I think that's the figurehead, so that'll be interesting. Get away from wood for half a day. Okay, as my usual begging goes. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. Helps me out if you do. When you subscribe, you get a little bell icon comes up. If you click on the bell, you'll be notified when any new videos are released, which in my case are Mondays and Thursday evenings. We're getting past the boring bit now. We're getting to the more interesting work. To me, all this planking is the boring part. Although the gun ports left a lot to be desired as well, but they do look quite good. And I know from putting the templates back over, they're in the right place. Anyway, into the interesting part phase. Let's see, I've got a few fillers to put in somewhere, but maybe won't bother with those because I keep saying this. From about here down, it's going to be copper taped. And that copper, provided I don't push it in to the dents, it's just going to sit above them all. And even with sanding sealer, I can just felt a rough spot there. But all you do is that, and it's gone. The sanding seal is brilliant. Okay guys, that's it. See you on the next one.